countries. In this 21st century, Indonesian upholds the all-direction foreign policy with the motto, million friends, zero enemy. We are always actively strengthening cooperative relations with any country in accordance with our national and common interests. Regionally, Indonesia with other ASEAN countries are working together to make Southeast Asia a peaceful, prosperous, and dynamic region. Toward ASEAN community, in the year of 2015, the ASEAN countries increasing an effort to develop partnership and cooperation with international community. I would like also this opportunity to emphasize the importance of the constructive dialogue between conflicting nations in achieve acceptable solution to peace. In this regard, the interfaith dialogues also play an important role in promoting and understanding. Leaders and scholars of different religions need to sit together, not to discuss the theological question, but to address the most urgent and practical question of the day. Together with the minimal leaders from other sectors, such as academicians, civil society, and of course, government. It is important for the leaders and scholars of this religion to be involved, to expose the non-religious nature of the problem in order to achieve appropriate solution. Finally, I would like to reiterate the Organization for World Peace and many other organizations for peace around the world play a significant role in supporting and promoting peace and remind us at all times the importance of peace, justice, and harmony for all mankind. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Omar Pasaribu. You said that the world is very far from peace and something bad is happening every day. Hopefully everyone today will leave with a tool for creating a more peaceful world. And now I will move to the next speaker, who is Mogens Lykketoft. He is the president of the Danish Parliament and doesn't need a long introduction.
Welcome. Thank you. Lykketoft is not only a politician, he's friend of all friends. So he is the key speaker of the day. Welcome.
Thank you for the invitation to join this Peace Day manifestation. Of course, it's always very important to think through, to consider what we should do, what we have done, what we can do in order to create a more peaceful world. Much has been said already by the former speakers up here, and I agree with most of it. I think that we in Europe have made a major step forward in civilization and peace building when we created the European Union. A unique structure in the history of mankind, built on the background of two world wars, where you could call them two endless, bloodless European civil wars in the 20th century. We decided to create a cooperation so strong and so tight that it was impossible for those countries joining that union ever to fight one another again. a cooperation based on equality and democracy and justice, and a cooperation which is now under certain strains and problems because of the global economic crisis and the special euro crisis, threatening the coherence and in some places even the democracy of the European countries. But still, I think that when we go forward in trying to build a broader and more peaceful world situation, the revitalization of the European cooperation is a major important building block. Because here we have a number of countries that have shown that they could change the course, they could choose another course than the one of fighting each other, be it at war, be it in exporting unemployment to each other as they did in the 30s. I hope that Europe will be able to play, having overcome the present difficulties in the economic sphere, to play a much more important role in the building of more peace in the broader world. This has to do with stimulating interregional cooperation, strengthening international institutions in order to solve conflicts, has to strengthen the peace-shaping and peacekeeping capabilities of the United Nations in different parts of the world. In all those places, Europe has a very important role to play, in my view. Of course, creating peace has to do with attacking the core reasons for conflicts, building trust, building justice, showing tolerance and understanding between different nations and different faiths. I think the interfaith dialogue is very important. I think that what we have seen in recent weeks, once again, of confrontations because of some individuals trying to hurt the feelings of Muslims around the world, is something we have to go up against very, very strongly and very, very peacefully. We have to tell each other that we want to cooperate between people of different faiths, that we don't want to insult or blame people of their specific faith. We have, with the words of Bishop Tutu in South Africa, we have to have the freedom to stretch out our arm, but not so long as we hurt the face of the other one. And that's what the discussion, the balance between freedom of expression and respect for religion and faith is all about. And I am happy that the American government in this recent crisis actually made a video for the Pakistani television telling, with the words of the president, with the words of Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, the American government has nothing to do and find it with this insult and find it appalling that somebody has done it. This is the way those kind of conflicts has to be handled. But of course, there are deeper reasons for conflicts, so to say more real ones, where interests are confronted, where nations are suppressed, where conflicts have lasted for decades and decades without any just solution. Palestine was mentioned. I want to underline that. We all have, in this part of the world and in the United States of America, a very strong obligation, finally, to stand up and contribute to a fair, just solution for the people of Palestine and implement, reinforce the model that has been expressed so many times from so many international organizations in so many negotiations, that there is only the solution of a sustainable Palestinian state living together with the state of Israel. We have to work even harder for that. I hope, being maybe a much more nuanced about the American president at the moment, that after the American elections, progress on this very dangerous and very regrettable conflict could be made. It was said, and that must be my maybe final part of my statement, that weapons is not always the problem. But I want to add to that, weapons are also a very big problem. We have to work hard for disarmament agreements. We have to work hard to avoid any proliferation of nuclear, biological, chemical weapons. We have to avoid new arms races, regionally in the broader Middle East or elsewhere, with new countries having those weapons of mass destruction. And we have to do it also in order to avoid that non-state organizations, terrorist organizations, will have easier access to those kind of weapons. And we have to work hard in order to destroy the still existing rather large number of depots of old former Soviet arsenals that could be potentially come at the hands of terrorist organizations. So there's a lot of peace building to make between peoples, in mutual understanding, in creating peace, creating more justice on the ground in concrete conflicts. But there's also a lot to be done in order to get the world rid of the dangerous depots of weapons of mass destruction and create a fundament for a general disarmament process where we could bring down the spending on weapons each and everywhere and create more resources for the human development that is finally the condition we have to create in order to be sure that we transfer to our children and grandchildren a more peaceful world. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You mentioned that the EU is has shown a major step towards peace since its creation, and hopefully the rest of the world can learn something from the European Union and implement some of the tools used by the European Union. In the end, we have a short speech by the chairman of the Organization for World Peace and the editor for the international magazine, the Rationale, Abid. Please welcome him.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, and my special thanks go to our beloved leader of Denmark and chief guest of the day, Mr. Abid. We all say welcome to each and other from the core of my heart, from the organizers of Organization of both these excellencies. I really appreciate the presence of a great number of diplomats from all sides of the world. I can see from Latin America, from China, from Europe, from Asia, Muslim countries. I think this is one of the best examples of integration and the harmony and the bridges between East and West, all part of the world. This is the beauty of the nature and the beauty of the universe that we have learned with the centuries to how to live together, how to share our happiness and the sadness, how to share our food, how to share our smile, and how to feel the grief of the others. The grief existing in this world is due to some small devils, and that devils are living among us. That devil has captured our minds and soul, which is not allowing us. They don't allow us to be truth, to speak truth, honest or equality. We speak a lot about equality. What is equality? Equality means equality. The one philosopher said that equality is not a word, it's not only feelings, it is an existing. If you can see that there is equality, then there is a word of equality. But when you can see that there is no equality, there is no meaning of it. This is what the truth means when everybody is ready to accept to the others and their rights. Right of self-determination is the most important in maintaining the peace. Unfortunate started when there is no term of terrorism existing in the world. Everybody, every country, every religion, every one or every society is using the word of terrorism according to his own needs. They blame Muslims, Muslims blame Christians, Christians blame another one. Why? Because there is no existing right term of terrorism. There is no understanding in many of the terms existing in this world. Same as with the peace, something absence of war. But I think in a broader way, that a peace is not only for today, peace is not for tomorrow, it is for centuries to be had. Peace is not only for me or for you, it is for the centuries we have to look on, for the children, for the women, for the farmers, for the workers, for all nations of the world. They are looking for peace. Peace is a dynamic process, non-stop process. I was wonder when some diplomats asked me, if your efforts will be succeeded? I said, yes, because if we are together, if we are running together, our power is too much. But if I'm alone and trying to be a firefighter, might be my efforts will be failure. So I am optimistic and meantime realistic when I see so many good faces smiling and cheerful for the name of peace. Peace is not only with the war or absence of war, but look, 22,000 children are dying every day. This is what we need in peace. How we can accept that we are crossing some areas and we look the dead bodies of the children, 22,000 bodies of every day. We are luckily living in a world, in Denmark, the most peaceful country. But go to the area, and this is okay, this might be due to the nature or the short of food, but in the areas where people are killed by the others, that is the real target of, we have to look that areas for the peace. I am angry with the leader who said, yes, about the weapons of mass destruction of the others, but I want to remind the history. With the name of the weapons of mass destruction, all efforts was finished, every effort was used, every power was used to find the weapons of mass destruction. Nothing was found in Iraq, but still there was a war. More than 1 million young generation was died there, and still there is a lack of young men over there. When we talk about why we are not realistic, and the same methods they are going to use against another country, if they find nothing, then we all must feel shame. The supporters of such efforts, they are looking for sanctions. It's a kind of terror also. I am a responsible person. I'm an editor for one magazine. Somebody asked me that we need the subscription of your magazine, and the $100 is the only subscription, $100. And the gentleman who requested from Iran that they need the subscription was refused by the bank because they didn't allow them for the $100